very good evening to you. This is ATN Global News at 9. First, the headlines. Police clarifies presence at Rivers Assembly Quarters. Emir of Tikal in Yobe State is dead. FG begins review of visa policy. Price of cooking gas surged by 55%. Israel expands East-North Gaza evacuation order. DJ Copy gushes over Indian wedding. Finide George gets Trust Ekong return boost.
Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024
at La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalagbo off Waterlines, Pastor, Port Hackett. On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Inter-school march past competition,
dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689 and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Mall Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Hackett, Lesuka Event Center.
Appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
And now, our stories. The Rivers State Police Command has clarified the recent reports regarding their presence at the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters. According to a statement by the command spokesperson, SP Gracie Ringo Koko, the deployment in the area is solely aimed at ensuring peace and preventing any possible breakdown of order. The statement assured the public that there is no cause for alarm and all individuals are encouraged to continue their lawful activities without fear. The CP appreciates cooperation as it worked towards maintaining a safe and secure environment for all. Akwa Ibom State lost a renowned scholar and elder statesman, Dr. Maurice Ebong, who was 81. Ebong, an accomplished electrical engineer, was a member board commission in Abuja. He was also the head of Instrumentation Division Department in the defunct Nigeria External Telecommunications in Lagos, among others. Chairman Central Planning Committee for his funeral, Dr. Asipo Esnyeng Bok, who announced the demise of the elder statesman, said the deceased will be interred on Saturday, May 25. Ibok said that Akwa Ibom State, and indeed Nigeria, has lost a rare gem who served the state and country in various high-profile capacities before he died. He informed Governor Umo Eno and other eminent personalities within and outside the country will attend the obsequies, which will be conducted by the Living Faith Church, Winners Chapel. Two suspected criminals who are in the habit of breaking shops within the Owerri capital vicinity have been arrested by the operatives of Owerri Urban Area Command Headquarters following a swift response to a distress call from a citizen. According to the Public Relations Officer of the State Police Command, ASP Henry Okoye, the two suspects, namely Usman Suleiman from Kano State and Mohammed Ibrahim from Zaria, Kaduna State, were said to have broken into a shop at Police Wives Association's Plaza, Power, located at Rapol Junction, Amakakohia. The police spokesperson said the recovered items have been released on bond to the rightful owner, Idika Uchechuku, while the suspects are currently undergoing a comprehensive investigation and will certainly have their day in court. Following the timely information given to the officers which prompted their immediate action, the State Commissioner of Police P. Aboki Danjuma appreciated the caller for availing the police with the information and enjoined other well-meaning citizens of the state to follow suit by taking advantage of the command's emergency lines and reporting any suspicious persons seen or clandestine activity observed within their vicinity. Gunmen have killed 2 policemen in a checkpoint attack along Presidential Road, Enugu. The development came barely 1 week after 2 policemen and 3 vigilante operatives, otherwise known as Neighborhood Watch Group, were killed, and in another attack by a gang of rampaging hoodlums in Loga community in Uzowani local government area of Enugu State. The latest incident, our correspondent gathered, occurred around 9 p.m. on Friday when the officers serving in Ugui Division were conducting stop and search along Presidential Road, Enugu. According to the spokesman of the Enugu Police Command, Daniel Undukwe, the attackers were suspected to be the armed members of IPOR BSN who operated in 3 SUV jeeps. Undukwe stated the operatives returned fire, forcing the hoodlums to escape with varying degrees of gunshot wounds and abandoning a recovered Lexus RX 300 Jeep. But Governor Peter Mba has placed a 10 million naira bounty on the killers, saying the state would go after the culprits with every resource at its disposal. In a bid to improve the water transportation system and safety on waterways, the Lagos State government has awarded the contract for the construction of 13 new additional jetties and terminals. Lagos State Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Kudayo Alebiosu, made this known at the 2024 ministerial press briefing to give a scorecard of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's 1 year in office after he was elected for the second term. Alebiosu said the construction of the ongoing 13 new jetties will complement the existing jetties and create more avenues for water transportation. This is in addition to the 7 jetties and terminals commissioned and handed over to LASWA for management last year. The commissioner also spoke on Eco-Atlantic, a land concession agreement executed between the Lagos State government and South Energy Nigeria Limited in the year 2006. To provide a permanent solution to the Lagos Bar Beach shoreline erosion in Victoria Island is under a public-private partnership arrangement. Chairman, House Committee on Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Golahan Yishawu, who was present at the ministerial press briefing, says waterfront and infrastructure is a very critical ministry, and the governor of Lagos State is saddled with the responsibility of the management of land in the state, as stated in the Land Use Act. Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service has disclosed that 2 men died in a tanker explosion which occurred on Friday night at the Ijesha end of the Selalink Bridge in Surulere area of the lake of the state. LSRFS Director Margaret Adesheye disclosed this in a statement on Saturday, adding that firefighters responded swiftly to the distress call to extinguish the fire. Adesheye added that efforts are underway to clear the wreckage of the involved vehicles from the road to ensure free flow of traffic and enable investigative procedures. In April, that 5 people were confirmed dead and over 70 cars burned in a tanker explosion at the LMS section of the East-West Road in River State. The incident was reported to have followed the collision between a petrol-laden tanker and a heavy-duty truck, spilling the content of the tanker, which burst into flames. Ogun 1 Area Command of Nigeria Customs Service has disclosed that it has seized contraband worth 380 million naira within the last 23 days. The period coincides with the assumption of office of Comptroller James Ojo as the controller of the Area Command. Speaking during a press briefing held at the Customs Office in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, Comptroller Ojo explained that the seizure was achieved through intensive intelligence strategies and collaborative efforts with the Department of State Services and others. Ojo said that no fewer than 103 items were intercepted at various locations within the state. Ojo emphasized the adverse effects of the seized items on societal well-being, particularly highlighting the dangers of cannabis sativa and foreign-used pneumatic tires. He reiterated the government's policy on the prohibition of rice importation through land borders, emphasizing the need to promote local production and self-sufficiency to foster economic growth and development. Multiple crashes on Saturday at about 8:55 a.m. around Iju Bridge, Ota Idiroko Road, left 17 people injured, while 15 others escaped unhurt. The incident involved 3 vehicles and a tricycle. The vehicles involved are a Mazda bus, a Toyota Hiace bus, a Senior truck, and other Bajaj tricycle. Spokesperson of Ogun Sector Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists on Saturday. Okwe blamed the accident on excessive speed on the part of the driver of the Sino truck while negotiating the bend around the Ilu after which he lost control and rammed into the vehicle, triggering multiple crashes. Those injured were said to have been taken to General Hospital, Ota, for medical treatment. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has called on compliance officers of banks across the country to desist from unauthorized disclosure of EFCC's investigation activities and requests from banks to their customers. Executive Chairman of the Commission, Ola Olukayede, made this declaration during a meeting with compliance officers of banks in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Olukayede, who spoke through the acting Zonal Director of the Ibadan Zonal Command of VFCC, Ace Wan Hawa Garbaringim, said that the Commission is aware that some compliance officers are giving some information to customers. He decried the unhealthy support fraudsters receive from the banking sector in Nigeria. The Commission but stressed that such an act is posing considerable challenges and concerns to the Commission. According to letters of investigation activities written to the banks from the EFCC. Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo State, on Saturday announced the arrest of 2 members of its vigilante group for allegedly raping a female student of the institution. The management, in a statement by its public relations officer, Olufemi Atoyebi, said the university had set up its own internal panel of inquiry to investigate the allegation. Atoyebi said the suspect had been handed over to the police with a vow to ensure heavy penalty on anyone found culpable after a thorough investigation. He therefore assured all stakeholders that the institution would not tolerate any act of misconduct capable of punishing its enviable image. Ahead of the forthcoming council and councillorship elections, the youth of the Zan North local government area of Ebonyi State have vowed to retire old and selfish politicians to pave the way for the younger generations. Ebonyi State Independent Electoral Commission had fixed July 20th, 2024 for the conduct of local government elections in the state. They lamented that the old politicians were responsible for bad governance in Ezan North local government, stressing that they would do everything humanly possible not to elect such persons to be at the helm of affairs in the local government area election. They made their position known during a visit to the State Commissioner for Environment, Victor Chukwu, to prevail on him to vie for the local government election. The youth, who were led by their national president, Emeka Nwokporo, and publicity secretary, Polycarp Obinna Alegu, lamented that Ezan North local government area has always been disadvantaged and afflicted with leadership malady, which they said was why it is the most underdeveloped in the state without any meaningful project for people. Judicial panel of inquiry into Benue State's income and expenditure set up by Governor Hyacinth Alia has called for memoranda from the general public. This was contained in a statement signed by the chairman of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, Justice Taiwo Taiwo, and the secretary, Dr. Abraham Berindier, on Friday in Makurdi. The judicial panel was charged with the responsibility of investigating the income and expenditure of Benue State government from 29th May 2015 to 28th May 2023. According to the statement, the terms of reference of the panel include to identify the income of the Benue State government from 29th May 2015 to 28th May 2023. Justice P.T. Kwaha of the Benue State High Court, sitting in Makurdi, has fixed May 23, 2024 for the hearing of a suit challenging the unconstitutional sacking of elected local government officials in the state and the subsequent appointment of caretaker committees in violation of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The suit was filed by activist Sesorg Akume against the governor of Benue and 4 others. Akume alleges that the sacking of elected council chairmen and councillors in the state by Governor Hyacinth Ali's administration and their replacement with cronies was unconstitutional. Recall that Akume, suing as a private citizen, dragged Governor Ali, the Attorney General, the Speaker in the House of Assembly, and the Special Advisor, Bureau of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs before the Benue State High Court. Akume contends that Governor Ali's action of sacking or indefinitely suspending elected local government officials since June 23, 2023, without justification, has left the local government system rudderless, with no governance in place. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo has said security agencies in the state were making frantic efforts to rescue abducted students of the Confluence University of Science and Technology, OSARA. He promised to review ongoing security operations within and around the institution to ensure the speedy rescue of abducted students. Ododo was away when the incident occurred, but on his return, visited the university to assess the situation and receive briefs from the school management to enable collective strengthening of the security architecture in the university. Speaking with newsmen, Governor Ododo revealed that a preliminary report suspects internal sabotage due to the disconnection of the CCTV cameras within the premises shortly before the attack. He, however, assured that those behind the ugly incident will be brought to book. Some unknown gunmen have reportedly shot dead a middle-aged man identified as Khalid Bichi in Maitama, Abuja. Bichi, said to be an employee of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, was reportedly killed by his attackers just before 9 p.m. while he was going out to get food, The Guardian reports. He was reportedly shot multiple times. He was afterwards rushed to Maitama General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. According to sources, Bichi was known for being active on social media and had connections with influential politicians. Middle-aged man Abdullahi Sani from Nguwa Makari Huta has been sentenced to death by stoning by a Sharia court in Ningi, the headquarters of Ningi local government area of Bauchi State, for alleged homosexuality. The judgment was delivered by Sharia Judge Abdullahi Ali Yudoya during a court session on May 10, 2024, with Sani found guilty of the offense as charged. The Sharia judge stated that the court commenced hearing on the case on the 2nd of May 2024 and closed it on Thursday, 9th May 2024, for judgment and sentence after listening to various arguments. He explained that based on witness testimonials and the defendant's admission of guilt, Abdullahi Sani was found guilty and sentenced to death by stoning in accordance with the provisions of sections 131, 132, and 133 of the Bauchi State Administration of Criminal Justice 2001. Recall that on July 1, 2022, a Sharia court delivered judgment and sentenced 3 people to death by stoning for a similar offense. Bauchi State Police Command has warned against the use of tinted glasses and covered number plates by unauthorized vehicles in the state. The command says that it has observed that the practice is now on the increase in the state, pointing out that it poses a great risk to public safety and order. Spokesman of the command, Ahmed Wakil, gave the directive in a statement made available to journalists on Saturday. has said the use of tinted glasses and covering of number plates makes it difficult for security agencies to identify vehicles used in criminal activities. Wakil, a superintendent of police, called on all unauthorized users to desist from the practice. He equally called for cooperation from the public to ensure enforcement of the law, assuring of the commitment of the Bauchi State Command to clamp down on efforts and maintain a secure environment for all residents. The EFCC, in a statement on its official X handle, said Nuhu pleaded guilty to the charge when it was read to him, upon which prosecution counsel SC Okemini urged the court to convict and sentence him accordingly. However, the defense counsel Yusuf A. Ali pleaded with the court not to tamper justice with mercy. Delivering the judgment, Justice J. A. Kereng convicted and sentenced Nuhu to 6 months imprisonment with an option of fine of 60,000 naira. The judge also ordered that the convict, in addition, would restitute with the sum of 7 million naira, 7,678,000 naira, being proceeds of his crime to his victim within 6 months, beginning from May 2024. Nigerian Army said it has instituted an appropriate investigation to determine the authenticity of allegations made in a viral audiovisual recording circulating on social media produced by some personnel in custody at the A Division Garrison Detention Facility in Sokoto. Recall that detained soldiers at the A Division of the Nigerian Army in Sokoto broke out from their guardroom, clamoring for better food and improved living conditions. Reacting on Saturday, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director of Army Public Relations, in a statement, while regretting the incident, warned that the service would not condone the manner the inmates expressed their purported grievance. It assured the service's commitment to ensuring that everyone, even those found guilty of aiding terrorists, kidnappers, and bandits, are awaiting confirmation of their sentencing, as it has been discovered in the Sokoto case, is accorded a Emir of Tikau in Yobe, Alhaji Muhammadu Abubakar. The death in an interview in Damaturu on Saturday. Talba, a prince of the Tikau Emirate Council, said that Grema died in Port Tishkum at about 4 p.m. on Friday. Grema, whose palace is located in Nangere local government area, was the paramount ruler of the Kare people. He was installed as emir on July 25, 2001 and spent 23 years on the throne before his demise. Speaker of the Niger Delta State House of Assembly, Abdulmalik Sakin Daji, has disclosed that 100 female orphans who lost their parents in banditry attacks in Mariga local government area of Niger State will be given out in marriage this month. The speaker, who pledged to pay the dowries of the bridegrooms, has procured all the materials needed for proper marriage to the 100 girls, stated that the comfort in the matrimonial homes has been taken care of like any other child who gets married in the Islamic way. The speaker, who represents Mariga constituency, did not disclose the age range of the girls, but stated that the girls who would be married off were carefully selected from the 170 girls whose names were submitted. Speaking to newsmen in Mina, Sarkin Daji said the project would be part of his constituency empowerment project, adding that it was being done with the best of intentions and would serve as a way of ameliorating the sufferings of the poor. He also said the Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago and the Emir of Kontagora Alhaji Mohammed Barau would serve as guardians to the female orphans who would be married off. Ahead of the local government election, the Inter-Party Advisory Council Yobe State Chapter has charged the State Independent Electoral Commission to shun partisanship and discharge its duties as required by the Constitution. IPAC Chairman of Yobe Chapter, Umar Adamu Jajeri, gave the charge on Saturday while addressing newsmen in Damaturu, Yobe State capital. The chairman advised eligible voters in the state to come out en masse and vote for the party of their choice on May 25, 2024. This is coming as the People's Democratic Party in the state had earlier announced that it would not participate in the upcoming local government election. The main opposition party also accused the state electoral umpire of deliberately refusing to notify political parties in the state about the schedule. Katsina Governor Diko Umar Rada has called on the federal government to extend the current rail and gas pipelines operating from Zaria to Funtua so it can connect the Funtua inland dry port to other major economic centers. This, he said, will enhance full functionality of the party commissioned Funtua inland dry port. The governor made the appeal at the official commissioning of the inland dry port by President Bola Tinubu. The president, who was represented by the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, said the rail line was vital for transportation and would reduce cost and facilitate the efficient movement of goods from the dry port. Rada further stated that his administration has developed strategic economic plans by establishing a state enterprise development agency and an economic council, all geared towards repositioning the state's economy. He urged the regulatory agencies at the port to exhibit understanding and professionalism as well as collaborate to ensure efficient operations. Kano Governor Abba Yusuf has settled 50% registration fee for 1,714 newly matriculated students of Saadatu Rimi University of Education, Kano. Commissioner for Higher Education Dr. Ibrahim Yusuf made this known during the maiden matriculation ceremony at the varsity in Kano. The settlement of the admission and registration fees of the students was for everybody without regard to political party affiliation. The commissioner said, according to him, the state government resolved to slash half of the total school fees of secondary and tertiary institutions, saying the gesture was to allow less privileged children acquire education. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Yahaya Bunkure, said the state government means well for education because of the benefits from it. He commended Governor Yusuf for his commitment to the advancement of education in Kano, adding that his dedication to improving the educational landscape and improving opportunities for the youth is truly commendable. Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Kaduna State's branch, has called on the federal government and the National Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, curtail the excesses of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Kaduna. Addressing journalists in Kaduna, the chairman PSN Kaduna State branch, Farm Sunday Ali Oko, lamented the excesses of the NDLEA and called on the presidency and the National Assembly to intervene. According to Oko, the agency had times without number unduly, illegally, and unprofessionally obstructed and hindered their roles. He said that the group was aware of the roles of the agency to arrest and prosecute dealers of illicit drugs, but not to hinder pharmacists from carrying out their statutory roles. He alleged that law enforcement agents have become lawbreakers. Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State, Tukur Danfulani, has been sacked by the ward executive of the party. This came on Saturday. Danfulani was ousted over allegations of poor leadership and discrimination against party members who violated APC laws. He was also accused of favoring individuals not recognized as leaders within the APC in Zamfara State, diverting the party's activities to them. The ward executive has called on the APC's national headquarters to take note of the decision and appoint a caretaker chairman for the party in Zamfara State, who will lead the APC in the Northwest State. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after the short break. Stay with us.
Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalagbo off Waterlines, Pastor, Port Hackett. On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Inter-school march past competition,
Dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689 and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Small Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Hackett, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water. Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Many thanks for staying with us. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the national leader of Afenifere, Pa Ruben Fashoranti, on his 98th birthday. In a statement by his special advisor in media and publicity, Ajudi Ngelale, Tinubu described Pa Fashoranti as a paragon of integrity and peerless leader with a natural agency for rallying minds to the cause of peace, unity and development. The president affirms that Pa Fashoranti, as the leader of the respected Pan-Yoruba socio-cultural group, has brought honor and dignity to the organization and has also honed its voice as a noble and trenchant mouthpiece of the people. The president extols the sacrifices and painstaking contributions of the elder statesman to the development of Nigeria as a veteran teacher, seasoned administrator, and exceptional politician. Tinubu prays to God Almighty to grant the elder statesman more years in excellent health, while wishing him joy and happiness on his momentous day and always. President Bola Tinubu has said that implementation of the National Afforestation Program through the Pan-African Great Green Wall Initiative and other nationwide afforestation and forestation activities programs have resulted in the restoration of over 1.5 million hectares of degraded forest and other landscapes. The president also said the initiative has led to the establishment of over 1,428.9 kilometer shelter belts covering 4,286 ha. Tinubu spoke at the 19th session of the United Nations Forum on Forests at the United Nations headquarters in New York from May 6 to May 10th, 2024. President Tinubu, who was represented by the President Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, said his administration was committed to protecting and restoring Nigeria's forests. President Tinubu said to facilitate strict compliance and enforcement of environmental laws as well as ensure that the benefits of conservation and suitable development was protected and equitably distributed among all segments of society, Nigeria developed wildlife crime rapid reference guide for investigators, prosecutors, and judges aimed at harmonizing the existing legal framework in enforcing and prosecuting environmental criminal syndicates. Vice President Kashim Shettima has stated that tax reforms under the administration of President Bola Tinubu are targeted at improving the system for the overall benefit of all. According to a statement on Saturday by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, House of Representatives is set to investigate petitions, complaints in respect of issuance of international passport as well as utilization of resident permits. The House, through its Committee on Interior, disclosed this in Abuja during an interactive session with management staff of IRIS Smart Technology and Continental Transfer Technique. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi, who was represented by his deputy, Honorable Ganiyu Ayuba, said the aim of the investigation is to identify any shortcomings or irregularities and implement necessary reforms to improve the system. He noted that the investigations is crucial for upholding the integrity of immigration procedures and ensuring that citizens and residents receive fair and timely treatment. The committee had in a letter to the managing directors of the agencies under its purview requested the true agreement terms of MOU or contract signed with the federal government with a view to improving the services that conforms to the international best practices. The committee, while investigating expatriate quota as part of its statutory mandate, is worried that no individual or entity can give an accurate number of expatriate residents in Nigeria.
The country has been battling with shortage of passport booklets that linger till this moment. Several efforts and intervention of the federal government to ensure availability of the travel document yielded limited results as at today. As I speak, thousands of Nigerians are queuing for months to get passport, a situation that gives room for corruption and extortion. Today, Nigerians pay much more higher than the official price with a view to getting their passport processed early. The experiences of our citizens outside the shore of this country is more worrisome. Our people are subjected to unnecessary trauma, frustration in efforts to get documents they needed to travel to their home country.
The committee move immersion for the agencies involves to take a bow and go pending the decision of the committee and follow the appearance of the managing directors. 29 generals of the Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army have retired from active military service. Of the 29 retired infantry officers who pulled out of active service at the Jaji military cantonment in Kaduna State on Friday, 19 were Major Generals and 10 were Brigadiers General. Among them is Major General Victor Ezugu, who spoke on behalf of the retirees, said the war against terrorism banditry will end if the proposed establishment of Army aviation succeeds and the 9th fighting capabilities of the Army Infantry Corps are improved. As the threats to Nigeria's sovereignty are becoming asymmetric in time and space, Ezugu admonished serving officers and soldiers to be proactively way ahead of the enemies in all aspects of unfolding combat scenarios. He also urged their successors not to only sustain the modest strategic, operational and tactical achievements made, but also to surpass them. While calling on the Infantry Corps to review some of its tactical and operational strategies in the areas of night fighting capabilities, the frontline intelligence gathering on enemy activities, Ezeogu advised the court to strengthen basic field crafts training in the areas of aggressive fighting patrols to dominate at least 5-kilometer radius of their locations, ambushes, listening and observation posts, as well as all levels of battle drills. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has asked the government to stop foreign missions in Nigeria from charging visa and other consular services in foreign denominations. It has also advised all embassies to adopt Nigeria's regulatory regime in fixing the exchange rate of the cost of the services. It said offering consular services in foreign denominations undermines Nigeria's monetary policy and aspirations for sustainable economic development. The FCC gave the advisory in a letter to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, for onward transmission to all foreign missions in the country. The federal government said it would undertake a review of the nation's visa policy to attract foreign investments and encourage visitations to the country. The government described as unacceptable the numbers of visitors into the country last year compared to the population, resources and opportunities available, asserting its policy on visa has to be reviewed to meet the standards of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubumi Tunji-Ojo stated this at the Transcorp Hotel, Abuja, during the stakeholders' consultative meeting on Nigeria visa. The minister further maintained that the country would consider a visa policy that attract investment and encourage visitors to visit Nigeria from across the world without putting the country's security in jeopardy. It said though it was difficult striking a balance between easy access to visa and national security considering its delicate nature, but if gotten right, it would no doubt lead to a healthy investment promotion for Nigeria. Trade Union Congress has criticized opposition lawmakers in the National Assembly for what it perceives as their silence on the controversial cybersecurity levy. Recall that the CBN, in a circular issued on May 6, ordered banks operating in the country to start charging a cybersecurity levy on transactions within 2 weeks from the date of the circular. Speaking during an interview, TUC President Festus Usifo accused the ruling All Progressives Congress of making life difficult for Nigerians, adding that the opposition lawmakers are nowhere to be found. He also accused the lawmakers of shutting out the union with the passage of the Cybercrime Prohibition, Prevention, Etc. Amendment Act 2024. United States government has lauded Nigeria's monetary policies as being conducive for businesses to thrive, as well as strengthening and positioning the nation's economy for overall growth. U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary, Bureau of African Affairs, State Department by Joy Basu made this known at a digital news conference with participating journalists. Basu said that the U.S. was committed to fostering its collaboration with Nigeria to tackle myriad pressing issues and obstacles which Nigeria, being Africa's largest economy, was facing. The envoy said her country was working closely with the U.S. Treasury, Nigerian authorities, and African central banks towards ensuring public and private sector economic restoration, stability, and prosperity across Africa. Speaking against the backdrop of the recently concluded 16th U.S.-Africa Business Summit in Dallas, Texas, Basu said the U.S. was also working on curbing Africa's security, infrastructure, and energy challenges. Average price of refilling a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas, cooking gas, has surged by 55.22% to 15,920 points on a month-on-month basis. The price of cooking gas surged by 5.977% to 15,922.04 in March 2024 compared to 15,060.38 in February. On state profile analysis, Sokoto recorded the highest average retail price for the refilling of a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas with 17,833.33 naira, followed by Oshun with 17,588. And Anambra with 17,417.65 naira. Conversely, the lowest average price was recorded in Katsina at 12,400 naira, followed by Kebbi and Bauchi with 13,137.50 naira and 14,484.25 naira respectively. The development comes amid the soaring inflation in Nigeria. Federal government has assured Nigerians that the introduction of compressed natural gas buses as part of the presidential CNG initiative will significantly reduce transportation costs. The government also assured all that it would untimely contribute to the control of the inflation rate. Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, gave the assurance when he visited the Jet Motor Company assembly plant in Lagos, where CNB buses are currently being assembled. This was contained in a statement released on Saturday by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitope Ajayi. The statement quoted Edun as saying that having witnessed the assembly process of these vehicles, he was confident that Nigerians will soon. And now, international entered Rafah, the Palestinian territory's southernmost city, and seized a key crossing on the Egyptian border. Residents and displaced Gazans were told to leave parts of Rafah's Shabura refugee camp, administrative area, Janina and Kabet al-Adas neighborhoods, and head to the coastal humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi. Israeli military spokesman Avichai Adre posted the order in Arabic on social media platform X, saying these areas had witnessed human terrorist activities in recent days and weeks. The Israeli army on Monday issued its first evacuation order for parts of eastern Rafah, saying it was in preparation for a widely anticipated ground assault. More than 200 people were killed while thousands of houses were destroyed or damaged in Bagalan province, where heavy rains sparked massive flooding. According to a report by an IOM emergency response in Baglani, Jadi district alone, up to 1,500 homes were damaged or destroyed and more than 100 people died, citing figures from the Afghanistan National Disaster Management Authority. Taliban government has been embroiled in controversy since it emerged last year that it had gone on a trip paid for by Republican donor and real estate tycoon Harlan Crow. The justice has also faced calls to recuse himself from cases related to the 2020 election because of his wife's involvement with efforts to block Joe Biden's victory. Thomas State stressed that he and his wife tried to ignore the critics and focus on positive. According to a ProPublica investigation published last year, 75-year-old Thomas went on one trip to Indonesia, paid for by Crow, that alone was likely worth $500,000. He also joined Crow, whose friendship with the just. And here now is ATN Sports News. In a significant development ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying showdowns against South Africa and Benin, The Super Eagles have received a major lift with the return of William Troost-Ekong to training. Troost-Ekong had been sidelined since undergoing surgery for an injury sustained during the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, where his standout performance earned him the Player of the Tournament accolade after netting 3 goals, including a crucial strike of the 2022-2023 season. The defender has remarkably bounced back from his injury setback and is now back in contention for PAOK Salonika's final 3 league matches of the campaign. His timely return is set to provide a significant boost for the Super Eagles, who are yet to secure a victory in the qualifiers. With Troost-Ekong's defensive prowess and leadership back in the field, Nigeria aims to turn the tide and reignite their campaign for World Cup qualification. Manchester City has gone top of the Premier League table following a 4-0 win over Fulham on Saturday. The champions opened the score in the first place. The champions opened the scoring in the first half through Josko Guardiola's composed finish. Pep Guardiola's one-time finish before Guardiola and Julian Alvarez rounded off scoring. The win takes City up to 85 points after the 36 matches, 1 more than Arsenal. The Gunners have 2 more matches left, starting with Sunday's trip to Manchester United. However, the City will play Tottenham Hotspur in their outstanding game on Tuesday, before next weekend's final fixtures. Vincent Kompany's side needed a victory in North London to have any chance of taking the survival bid to the last day of the season. Jacob Brun-Larsen's opener gave the second-bottom Clarets a glimmer of hope, but Pedro Porro equalized and Miki Ran Devanje, Tottenham's Villa have held talks with Kelechi Iheanacho's representatives over a summer move. According to Football Insider, Villa's transfer chief Ramon Monchi reportedly met Iheanacho's camp in Greece before his team's UEFA Europa Conference League clash with Olympiacos on Thursday. Iheanacho is set to leave Leicester City after turning down a fresh attempt to extend his contract. The forward's current contract will expire at the end of June. Aston Villa are keen to add more fire to their attack despite the presence of Oli Watkins and John Duran. Iheanacho was on target 5 times in 23 league appearances for the Foxes last season. He arrived at the King Power Stadium from Manchester City in 2017, which runs from June 14 to July 14 in Germany. The Olympic football competition begins on July 24 and runs to August 9, with France in a group alongside the United States, New Zealand and another side still to be determined.